Well, hello. Welcome to the usual live stream slot, but with a twist, because I'm actually recording this at 11 o'clock Friday morning, pretty much, and on a private stream. So even if you did happen to be around at this time, you would never know that I was live on air, and you couldn't come in and interrupt me rudely with your comments and interest and suggestions. But the idea, hopefully, is I will stream and then upload the stream at the usual sort of 9 o'clock UK time Saturday night, and anyone who was inclined to do so can watch it live on the premiere and chat amongst yourselves in the comments and join in without me being there, because I won't be there. I'll be entertaining the good folks of Port Talbot near Swansea in Wales, live, really live, like in the flesh and everything. With my second panto date. Yeah. So, because of that, what am I going to play? I'm going to play songs about being without you, as I am, and indeed will be for the rest of the year, because there's no real time that I'm going to be able to do a proper live stream. But if this doesn't go horrifically wrong, then I might do a few of these, and hopefully they'll be fun for me and for you, but just at different times instead of at the same time like we usually do. Sound good? I don't know. So yeah, I've got 30 songs, astonishingly, on my iTunes list of songs that are either titled Without You or have Without You in there somewhere. There's quite a few about being without your love. Now, I know that I've got that at all times, right? Yeah, the silence is deafening. So we've got those, and we've got, there's some well-known songs here. There's some obscure songs here. There's two songs, well, two versions of the same song by Magnum called Without Your Love, and that's, of course, also a Toto song. Well, a different song with the same title. So those might come up, they might not, because it's going to be the old best of three trick. So we're going to hear 10 of these 30 songs, and the only person who's going to be choosing them is me, but it's going to be the old random best of three style. So I will hit the randomizer and go through the options, give you a few seconds of each to be a taster, so you can let me know which ones I should have chosen as we go along. Right, let's do it. This is option number one. Here we go. Okay, that's The World Without Your Love by Lionville, who are they Italian? I think so. Kind of a modern-ish, but AOR throwback band. So that's choice one. Choice two is the aforementioned Toto, Without Your Love. And choice three is another kind of Scandi band, going Lost Without Your Love. This is Work of Art. So, of course, I can only choose one of those three, and anybody who knows me knows that even if it's, not top tier Toto, if Toto's an option, that's probably where I'm going. So it is indeed. We'll start with Toto, Without Your Love. Here we go.
It's late at night, nothing's feeling right since you've gone away.
So this is 1986, the Fahrenheit album, which was the first with Joseph Williams on lead vocals, but of course on this track we've got Steve Lukather with his young voice.
At first, you could hear the wind stop, then my heart would pound. I remember everything you used to do, girl. Now I'm learning something that you already knew. It's not the same without your love.
Bo starts in, he might already have been giving you the backs, but this was, of course, the second single from this album. The other Steve Lukather song on the album was the first single. That was I'll Be Over You, of course, which is one of their biggest hits. This was not, it reached 38 Billboard, and I think number 7 on the AC charts. Just the vocals, of course. Steve Lukather on guitar, naturally. I love Luke's vocals in this period. His voice really rooted up over the years, but I like him when he's young and innocent and smooth. It sounded a bit wrong, but you know what I mean. Right, Toto, Without Your Love. The highlight of that song really is Steve Lukather's guitar solos. Interestingly enough, of course, and I know Bostart will know this as well, that was actually entirely written by keyboardist David Paich, who was, in the early days, dominated the songwriting in Toto, and, still did, but what I mean is it's one of the last songs, in fact, it's the last song for 20 years that would be an official David Paich solo writing credit on a officially released Toto album, whereas you go back to the debut and 80% of it is just him. Yeah, and that was their 9th of 10 US top 40 singles, but they were just getting started in like the Netherlands and places like that. So, right, where are we going from here? We're going to a second choice, and the options for that, I'm going to start with this one. More ballady-ish stuff from John Waite in this case. How Did I Get By Without You? Or we could have the first of our tracks that is just called Without You. Bostart will know which one this is. Nobody else will. It is Gordon Lightfoot and his very brief 80s period. And then our final selection here is another Without You, and this one, just give you a very brief snippet of. That is from Gary Hughes, the band 10, who you probably don't know because I don't talk about them much. He did a 2-part concept album, I suppose, about King Arthur called Once and Future King. And this track, Without You, is closing track of the whole thing. It's after Arthur has gone. Can't remember off the top of my head who sings it, but I'll look that up as we play it, because we are going to play it. I know you thought I was going to go Gordon Lightfoot, and I really was, but this one's different, and I think it's going to be worth a listen. I haven't heard this in over 3 years, and I do like it. So let's hear Gary Hughes and Company, Without You. Oh, I tell a lie. There's actually a this is the penultimate track on this. There's a final track, which is the title track, Once and Future King. So we have Sean Harris as Sir Galahad of the band Diamond Head will be on lead vocals on this one.
Today I took his heart and cast it back into the lake. So silently it sank into the depths from whence it came. I fight to find a reason, and those who now remain can't let it pass in vain. I thought I'd found the answers, but I'll never understand the why, the how, the wherefore in this God-forsaken land. We raise a man to savior, we bow to his command, then break him where he stands. Life just seems so empty without you. Distorted, retreating, fist broken and bleeding, defiant, unfeeling, to be reft enemy, immortal, all-seeing, his likeness of being. Disciples, we lead him to its Gethsemane. Each one has blood on his skin.
Studied Lord Arthur at university. In fact, my final year at university did a paper entirely on Arthurian literature, which was my only A+ paper in the course of my university career. For some reason, these albums didn't come up. The reason? They hadn't come out. It was the same year, 2003, will be my final year at uni. Doesn't that make me sound old? I really don't know Sean Harris or Diamond Head, but very good vocal on this from him. River of Urine, or watching. Let me know your thoughts on him and them, if you have any.
Each one has blood on his skin. Every night ebbs a life away, yeah. The ice of destiny thins when we cross it decides to break. And now my eyes betray me through this callous twist of fate, imprinted on the landscape like reflections in the lake. Across the sky at sunset, with every dawn that breaks, I swear I see his face. Life just seems so empty without you.
So yeah, these are like kind of full cast albums that Gary did. He plays King Arthur, and you've got other people, quite a few people who turned up on Aryan albums. Again, wherever you're paying attention. So Irene Janssen's on these as Morgana, Lana Lane as Queen Guinevere, and of course I mentioned 10, but Gary Hughes also wrote and produced the first 3 solo albums by Magnum's Bob Catley. And Bob plays Merlin on these albums. So yeah, they're really good. You should check them out, especially if you have any interest in Arthurian myth and literature and that sort of thing, or classic rock and metal, really. All right, you've seen it below. Option 1 of our third song choice is Scorpions, Can't Live Without You. This is a bit of what it sounds like. Option 2, speaking of Magnum, Without Your Love, or another Without You track, David Bowie himself. And again, you know me, and again, I'm not going to disappoint, or maybe I am going to disappoint you by being really obvious and going the Magnum route, because this one is not a version I've heard an awful lot, because for those who don't know Magnum's story, they recorded their debut album in 1976, and it sat on the shelf for 2 years before finally coming out in 78. That was Kingdom of Madness. So by the time it was ready to come out, they had more songs, and so they ditched some of the original songs and recorded a few more, and that's the album that we had. So this is a track that was from those original recordings that got next, and then it would be redone many years later on their acoustic album, and that might come up later, or will come up later as a choice, whether we hear it or not, who knows. But yeah, let's hear some really early Magnum in a second. Before I do that, I will just say I might do the opposite with this of what I do with random foreplays and things, which is have this as the main version where the music's all contained, but I might later put up a version that has the music edited out and just has me nattering at you, because that would be entertaining, wouldn't it? So if you're watching a short version, which is just all me, then that'll be what's happened, and there will be a link where you can go and watch the full thing with all the songs included. Yes, indeed. So, Magnum, Without Your Love.
But it's all
same year that they did that acoustic album, they went back to Jet Records, unbelievably, to do that. Jet put out this archive album which included the songs that were mixed from Kingdom of Madness, along with 4 tracks that were recorded in '74 as a demo. And an early version of Kingdom of Madness is on there as well. So it's inessential for most people, but for the die-hard Magnum fan, you must have it. Overall, they should have picked this over Baby Rock Me, but generally I don't particularly disagree with removing this from the final running order. I still like it, but you know, it's kind of early, not fully developed Magnum. I do prefer the later acoustic version, if I'm honest. And like I say, we might still hear that today. Probably not, but we'll see. All right, there we are. Early Magnum with Without Your Love. And yeah, that's Bowie, which we know is not going to be heard because that was part of that batch of 3. So the next batch of 3 starts with a song I'm sure we're all very familiar with, Within You, Without You, from the Beatles. And that is going up against soppy 70s soft rock, Nights Are Forever Without You from England Dan and John Ford Coley, or Without You by Asia. And in fact, I should have really not played the intro because when I think of songs called Without You, and it's probably not the same for you, this is the one that comes to mind because it's my favourite. And this weekend, I'm going to see, when I get back from Wales, I'll be exhausted, but I'll be heading out to see Folkhat and the John Payne version of Asia, which is called Asia featuring John Payne, funnily enough. Obviously, this is proper Asia from the debut album. One of the songs written by Steve Howe with John Wetton before the kind of Jeff Downes and John Wetton songwriting team became the thing. One of my favourites from the debut. It's kind of a bit of an underrated gem, actually, this one. So let's hear it. This is Asia, Without You.
Gazing at our sunrise, reflected in your clear eyes. Misty morning forest, smoke fires. We make our way through the broken day. I couldn't stand to stay without you. Keep moving saw the yellow moon of midnight. I awoke, glowing in the smoke, suddenly alone without you.
Obviously, pardon me, top-notch musicianship from these guys. I assume most of you know who Asia are, but for those who don't, they were one of the big supergroups of the 80s, coming together from various 70s prog bands. So you've got Steve Howe on guitar from Yes, John Wetton on vocals and bass from King Crimson and UK, Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer on drums. There he is. And Jeff Downes, who was briefly in Yes, and of course was also in the Buggles. So he kind of brought the pop sensibilities that made this the biggest selling album of 1982. In 1982. Obviously there's an album released in November of 82 that sold quite a bit more. And it would be thrilling to know if anybody knows what that was. I think Asia would have lasted longer if they'd kept Steve Howe in the writing team for longer. I really like his writing contributions to the band, even though he's probably my least favourite guitarist they ever had. He suits Yes better than the star, I think.
Fading as I write, and another night reminds me. But as I sleep, the memory that I keep is just another day without you. It seems so long I've been holding on since I felt my arms around you. As time will go, both of us will know there'll never be a day without
like I say, one of my favourites, and one of Steve Howe's favourites too, from the debut Asia album. Probably not going to hear that on Sunday night. They'll play, I expect, the first 3 tracks from this album. Alrighty. Where are we heading next? Could it be to the Doobie Brothers version? Or song called Without You? Well, it could be, but it could also be Martin Page with I Can't Get There Without You from the Temper of Peace album. Or that's Gene Pitney with There's No Living Without Your Loving. Ooh, this is the first one I've had to really think about, because I'm actually gonna stick with Gene. You know, this is a song from his I Must Be Seen Things album, and I'm not that familiar with this album at all. I bought this because it was a 2-for-1 with his It Hurts to Be in Love album, which is the one of his studio albums I grew up listening to from the age of, you know, a newt. Age of a newt? Size of a newt? I don't know. From whenever I could first understand words of music, he was in there with that album. So I have apparently only heard this 4 times before, and it's left no impression on me. So let's see if that changes today. And let me know what you think of this. This is There's No Living Without Your Loving.
If I can love you till the day I die, then baby, baby, what good am I? If I can reach out and know that you'll be there, then this whole world ain't spinning.
This is written by Gary Harris and Paul Hoffman. Not names that I'm familiar with, I have to say.
And I wouldn't want to live my life through knowing in my heart I couldn't have you.
This is good. Solid G.
I can't hold you and kiss you anymore. And what on earth am I living for? 'Cause there's no living without.
Everybody should have at least one Gene Pitney compilation in their collection. Some true classics in his vast discography. And this is just, you know, album fillerish type stuff, but it's done well.
If I can't hold you and kiss you anymore, then
I'm conscious that I've been avoiding, not deliberately, kind of the obvious tracks that Hughes especially might have gone for. But the Doobies Without You, even though it's from my favourite Doobies album, I've always been a little bit on that one. I would admit it's a better song than this, but I like to surprise myself and you at times as well, you know. And it was time for a shorter tune as well. So there we go. That is indeed Gene Pitney. There's no living without your loving. Leading us into the next. I told you Without Your Love was a popular title. This is Bobby Caldwell's song of that name. Going against I Don't Want to Live Without Your Love from Chicago. Or, right, I'm just going to call it right there. There's another version of the Chicago song on this list. That was a number 3 hit for them, but there's a version by one of its writers that might come up later. But meanwhile, let's have a track from the final proper Journey album from 1986 before they split for a decade. Raised on Radio, which is probably my second favourite Journey album after Frontiers. This is a single that reached number 17 back in 87, and it is I'll Be Alright Without You. Which was remixed slightly for the single and is on the greatest hits version in that remix. But I prefer this mix. It's got a brighter guitar sound, as you will see here in a very brief second. Right now, in fact. Yeah.
I've been thinking about the time you walked out on me. There were moments I believed you were there. Do I miss you? Am I lying to myself again? I do these things all because of you. I keep holding on.
Oh, I got my very rare for me. Got my chart patch on. This is actually number 14 It was Suzanne that was 17. And, yeah, The Girl Can't Help It was 14 as well. I was sure it was 2 17s, not 2 14s. Oh well. Steve Perry, still one of the greatest vocalists of all time, even if he is really just a glorified Sam Cooke impersonator. If Sam Cooke was still alive in the 80s, who knows what it would have sounded like. It would sound like this. Similar musical territory to where we were a couple of songs back with Asia. Neil Schon on guitar. Supposedly these guys are about to embark on their farewell tour, but we'll see. So yeah, that was the fourth and final top 20 single from the Raised On Radio album. They would of course get one more top 20 single a decade later with When You Love a Woman from the Trial by Fire comeback album. Alrighty. Moving now to possibly Randy Newman, Living Without You. Or Badfinger, the original version of probably the most famous song called Without You. Or More Lost Without You from Alan Parsons from A Valid Path. Those few seconds of that sounded right. That is from my least favourite Alan Parsons album by a mile. So of these three, we're going to go back. And because after all, these guys are from Swansea, and I'm right now, as you're watching this, potentially, performing just over the way in Port Talbot. So, yeah, it'd be rude not to. And if ever David's ever watching this, then this is one that he would insist on me playing, I'm sure. So let's hear it, the original version. And, you know, let me know if you prefer this version or Harry Nilsson's version or maybe Mariah Carey's version or any of the other 180 versions that have been done over the years. For me, this is the one I go to, the original.
this evening and your face when you were leaving, but I guess that's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows. Well, I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrow. I had you there, then I let you go.
This was originally from the No Dice album from Badfinger. That was 1970. Harry Nilsson released his version the following year to great success and acclaim.
That's just the way the story goes. You always smile, but in your eyes your sorrow shows. Yes, it shows.
So this was, of course, written by Pete Ham and Tom Evans, who would receive the Ivan Novello Award for Best Song Musically and Lyrically, but at the time, they didn't think too much of this track. Publication I'm not aware of, Stereo Gum, said that their version is strummy and direct, but also sounds like a blueprint, not a final version. They could have turned it into a show-stopping ballad, but they didn't. Kind of see his point, but also I still prefer that. Rob Hughes of Classic Rock agrees with me, saying it's less saccharine and more understated than the Nilsson and Carey versions, delivered with a genuine sense of anguish. Speaking of anguish, a dispute over its songwriting, or rather the royalties from it, is ultimately what led to the loss of Tom Evans. Most people will know the very, very sad tale of Badfinger and that he and Ham both committed suicide. So that's a downer, but hey, nothing we can do about it. Sounding a bit whiter shade of pale here on the outro. All right, I suspect that's going to be some people's favourite tune that we hear in this little run of songs. So if that's you, you're welcome. And we'll find out what's next, starting with another soppy song, "Lost Without Your Love" from Bread is option 1 here. Or we could go out more recent with another kind of supergroup with Flying Colours and "Lost Without You." Or there's the other version of "I Don't Want to Live Without Your Love" that I mentioned. This is the Albert Hammond live version, He, of course, wrote the song originally with Diane Warren back in the 80s. And like I said, went to number 3 in the States for Chicago, even though it didn't sound like a Chicago song at all. It does sound much more like an Albert Hammond song, but I think we will go to the second album from this group, Flying Colours. As to say, a kind of super group. You've got Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater on drums here. You've got Neil Morse of Transatlantic and Spock's Beard, and of course solo artist on here. You've got Steve Morse on guitar, and some other people as well. So this is Lost Without You. This is 2014. So yeah, the other band members, of course, Dave LaRue on bass guitar, who played with Steve Morse for many, many years, and Casey McPherson on lead vocals. Also the band Alpha Riv, if that means anything to anybody. Anyway, I hope this experiment is working out. I'm having a great time without you. I hope you're having a great time without me, if that makes sense. I do miss you guys. Hopefully see you again for real someday before too long, but just not for the rest of this year. Another song, an album that I haven't heard in a good 3 years. This is my favourite of their albums, but they were one of those bands who should have been amazing but were only pretty good. Which is kind of what some people felt about Asia back in the 80s, of course. I did see them live on the first 2 tours as well, and they were, as you'd expect, very good live, being first-rate musicians, one and all. So we've only got 2 more songs after this. Can't really remember what they might be. Obviously we know the other version of the Magnum track is still out there. Lyrics from Casey, who said that the song speaks to the loved ones that he lost in his life. I was always really impressed with Casey's vocals. He was kind of the unknown member of the band compared to all the other players. I believe it was Mike Portnoy who promoted him, so to speak. He more than held his own. And I never got their third album, so maybe I should have done. Maybe I still will someday. Who knows? Alrighty. So, our penultimate track is going to be between these three songs. Blind Without You from the Teskey Brothers. If you're out there, Tracy, hi. Can I choose that over Without You by Giants? Or Without You by Mecca? So, just to explain for those who don't know, Giants were a band, they kind of like Toto, a decade after Toto, and that they were built around people who were well-known session players. Dan Huff on guitar and vocal, and his brother David, along with Alan Pasqua on keyboards. And both of the first two albums, Last of the Runaways and that one, Time to Burn, absolutely fated in certain circles, and I've never really connected with them that much. Mecca, on the other hand, is a band led by Joe Varner, who was a big fan of Toto and Survivor, so had his album produced by Jim Peterick of Survivor, and had on bass David Hungate, the original Toto bass player. And this is a song that Joe sang himself, but half the album was sung by my favourite Toto vocalist, Fergie Fredrickson. Anyway, the answer to the question is, will I choose either of those over Teskey Brothers? No, Tracy, of course I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play Teskey's all the way. Here we go. Blind Without You. From their most recent album at time of speaking, The Winding Way from 2023. And without Tracy, I wouldn't have cottoned onto these guys at all. But if you like kind of blue-eyed, soulful, bluesy stuff, you can't get much better.
These lights are better than the sun. This road is laid with flowers. I pick for you each and every one. I'm blind without you, without you in my arms. I'm blind without you, without you.
So for those who don't know the Teskey Brothers, they're brothers. Sam Teskey on lead guitar and Josh on lead vocals and rhythm guitar. So this is from their most recent album, as I said, which is their third to date. So plenty more to come from these guys, I would imagine.
never for me.
Yeah, if you like that, you'll like them. The Teskey Brothers. Thank you to Tracy for introducing many of us to them. That album topped the Australian charts, but even scraped the UK top 50 when that came out in 2023. So I can only assume whenever the next one's out, it will do even better. All right, one last batch of three. Starting with, as my first choice, the aforementioned acoustic version of Without Your Love from Magnum. Going against I Don't Want to Live Without You from Foreigner. Nice soppy ballad from them. Or the final selection, Nowhere Without Your Love from Mastodon, which is John Alafonte's band. He was Steve Walsh's replacement in Kansas for a number of years. 3 years to be precise. All right. That's one of the tougher choices for today, but let's see if you remember the original version of the song from Magnum and see if you prefer the acoustic version, as I think I do. You can let me know down below. This is definitely a better produced version of the song. Tony was producing them by this point in time.
I'd pay any price just to keep you here with me. I won't hold you down, you can feel.
And Bob was at his vocal height.
But it's all no. You've got a hold on me, please don't let go. I love the way you do it, I know it must show, but it's all no. Without your love, without your love, I couldn't stand it for a minute. Without your love, without your love, I can't take it, I can't take it anymore.
So it's Mark Stanway from keyboards here. We've got the full classic Magnum lineup with Bob on vocals, Mike on keyboards, Tony guitar, Wally Lowe on bass, and the great Mickey Barker on drums.
I'd pay any price just to keep you here with me. I won't hold you down, you can feel that you're free. But it's all no good. Without your love, without your love, I couldn't stand it for a minute. Without your love, without your love, I can't take it, I can't take it anymore. I couldn't breathe, couldn't see, I couldn't feel. It's not a game, not for me, it's for real.
So yeah, this was originally from Keeping the Night Light Burning acoustic album, which is the hardest Magnum album to come by, to the point that it's the only one I don't actually own. But I've got most of its tracks pulled from different compilations over the years. So I think I've got 10 of the 12 tracks now.
I couldn't stand it for a minute.
And I've added to it in my playlist some of the more recent acoustic things they've done on 21st Century albums to make a full acoustic Magnum album for myself. This version's also almost a minute longer than the original. But yeah, I hope you agree with me that this is a vastly superior take on the song. Well, I mean, I don't actually mind if you agree with me or not, but do let me know either way. Lovely keys work from Mark Stanley on this track, for sure. All right. Well, that is, yeah, that's pretty much the end. So, if you came along, hope you had a good time. Hope you had someone to talk to that wasn't me, because I wasn't here. But yeah, I will have been, and still am, in fact, performing in my panto. Last week in Brighton was our first, and it went really well. Bostart will know that there was a big anniversary of the sinking of a particular ship last week, so I did on one occasion change Alderman Fitzwarren purely accidentally to Alderman Fitzgerald. That was about as big a blunder as we managed, so we did pretty well, given that we had never actually performed before. I don't think it was obvious to the punters, who all had a great time because food was really good. Yeah, I mean, we were decent as well, but if the food's bad, they turn against you. If the food's good, they're happy, whatever. That's generally the rule of thumb. So, see how we go in Wales tomorrow. Right now. And then I'm all over the place. I'm also busy during the week, so there's not going to be much on the channel at all for a while, and possibly ever. Who knows? Didn't get to record with Sean last weekend. He's still not great with his back and really needs to have a break and a proper rest to get himself hopefully back to some form of normality and relative pain-free zones. So fingers crossed for him. But yeah, I'll miss you guys, but I'll hopefully catch you around virtually and for real before too much longer. Anyway, meanwhile, it's the usual. Thanks for watching, and bye for now, but hopefully not for long.
It's the end, but the moment has been prepared for.